stream too. And now that it's on, I completely ignore it for the rest of stream. The years are catching up with you. So true, so true. I think what happened was I looked at Implaceable and I couldn't think about what it meant. And then I started thinking about, like, irreplaceable, but implaceable became all I could think about. So I couldn't. So I replaced the word implaceable with which is a word that I didn't either I didn't know or I just forgot the meaning of. I feel like that might be no. I definitely read that before. And then get verbed, noun boy. What's wrong, noun boy? Afraid of a verb? afraid of a little old verb. Afraid of doing something for once. Afraid that you're gonna do something, huh, noun boy? When's next Morrowind stream? I'm not entirely sure. And yes, last live. I don't know if last live you were here, but we've actually started playing Morrowind for real, for actuals. I'm doing the Mages Guild, which so far we haven't done too much magey stuff, but it's getting me some money at least. I think. I'm really running. Oh wait, that reminds me. I need to haven't seen a single one of the Morrowind streams. I think they've been fun. I think they've been kind of fun. But I actually need to off stream because I don't want the next stream to be like 40 minutes of me walking back and forth. 40 minutes of me walking back and forth to a city selling things. Because I need to get money. I don't know if it's me or Twitch is being random without notifying me that streams start. That's annoying. Maybe check that Twitch is updated. I would say would probably be the first thing. No, Harrow, don't pinch me. Don't pinch. No pinchies. Get off of me. It seems so fun. You got the Discord notif. Oh, that's weird. Guys, make sure you have the bell ticked or whatever Discord uses. Or not Discord, whatever Twitch uses. Hello, Lila. Nice to see you. Wow. My whole body hurts. I feel like shit. Harold, what did you do? I feel like I'm going to get sick again. What did you do that your whole body hurts? Are you okay? Oh, no, wait. Wait, hang on. Check your lad's profile. Check your lad's profile. If they're being, like, extra nice to you, then maybe you got to prepare. The weather keeps changing. You're weak to weather changes. Fucking girls weak to fucking air being slightly colder. Morrowind theme is stuck in your head now. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so just relaxing. So relaxing. The top left of my palette, or like of my hard palette, is burnt. I had some chili con carne. Chili con carne. Is it carne? Carne? Chili con carne and rice today. It was quite nice. I also there was some nacho, like tortilla chips with it. Very tasty. It was nice and warm. Now it's freezing, bro. Oh no, oh no. Harold got the little sniffles. She got that little sniffle. And my little shit of a brother keeps sneezing in front of you. I hope he's blocking his mouth at least. Oh my god. I hope he's blocking his mouth. That's unhealthy. That's unhygienic. Hello, Clever. It's nice to see you. Hi, Clever. How are you? How you doing? How you been? Girl, he's a toddler. He's laughing his ass off. Oh, I didn't think he was a toddler. I thought maybe he was like maybe 12. I was just like at you and being like disgusting. But no, that's okay. He's a toddler. He's allowed to be like unhygienic. Thank you, Lila. But yeah, I've been really enjoying Morrowind. But yeah, as I said, I need to like maybe tomorrow or something, or even after stream I could try. I will just go and I will do all the selling of the gear off stream, and we'll start in the cave. Cause no, like you guys don't want to watch me walk back and forth to Aldrune. No, wait, is it Aldrune? No, it's not Aldrune. It's not Balmora. Fuck, what was the name of the city we went to again? It's the Ebony Mine. Caldera, that's it. You guys don't want me. I'm here for doggy noises. I see. Can't get any of the Morrowind OST out of your head. The road most traveled is playing now. Ooh. But yeah, it is fun. It is fun. I'll probably try and like maybe do another game too, every now and again. Maybe just like Binding of Isaac or something easy like that, or Slay the Spire. Good morning, Dew on Grass. Thank you very much for the first time chat. Hope you know, it's always nice when the dew is on the grass. It's very pretty in the morning, especially I even though it's not, it's like, you know, it's not really cold these days. It's not, you know, we're out of winter. I do love when it's like winter time and all the grass is like white. Very pretty. So sleepy. Are you a sleepy little guy, Lila? Hello, legend. Welcome in, welcome in. Good news, though. Some of your items are going to arrive soon. You're about to get a whole huge dopamine rush from unboxing stuff. Haru, when someone sneezes in her general direction, she's like locked up like in COVID. Haru, when she gets dolls, she has the immune system of a god. I can't even listen to The Road Must Travel without an ad stopping you. I hate ads. Dude, I feel like ads are getting even worse on YouTube these days. I swear, for some reason, like 10, 20-minute ads, or sorry, like 10-minute videos are okay. 15-minute videos, you'll get one or two. 20-minute videos, you'll get a few more. But if you're watching like an hour-long video, don't get off me. Like 30 minutes plus, get off of me, Ivis. Yo. If you're doing that, you're going to get like an ad every 2 minutes. I don't get what the reason for it is. Ads are so fucked up. Like, stop giving me 2 unskippable ads that are 30 seconds to 1 minute ad. It's what if pull. No, don't pull, no pull, no pull. Don't stretch me. Don't stretch me. There is like this thing. There's this thing I have on Firefox that allows me. It's like an add-on that allows me to go beyond. You know how you usually can go 2 times speed? I can go 3 times speed, or faster and faster and faster, etc., etc., etc. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh yeah, it gets faster and faster and faster. And what you can also do is you can just skip. So you can just click a button and it will skip like a minute. But I can also do it on ads. It's really nice. Because it's not an ad blocker. It's not an ad blocker. I'm just skipping ahead in the video. So I can, like, those like 30-second ads, 1 minute ads, I just click really quickly and they're done. It's okay to use an ad blocker on YouTube. Ads make YouTube videos I listen to take 15% longer to get through. It's ridiculous. Reason is because reasons. Reasons is because they I don't think they've ever made money off of YouTube. You need a gay, tall, fit, slightly sweaty boy. Why slightly? Why can't he be like extra sweaty? Why can't he be extra sweaty, Lila? Are you sweatist? Definitely sweatist. Well, yeah, no one advertises on a road less traveled. They say that has made all the difference. I imagine that they're probably doing better. They're probably doing better with you like the smell, not the feeling. No, they gotta be. You gotta like go to hug them, Lila, and they like slide out of your hands like they're soap. They gotta be like oiled. They're so sweaty. So, ew. YouTube ads work on watch time, so fast forwarding them usually gives the same output as skipping them, especially because ad revenue hit new record lows. Whatever. I'm not even fast forwarding them. I'm just like skipping them effectively. Need oiled up sweaty Ua when you're the artist, you can draw that. You will never get me in well, maybe if you get me, what if I did like a wrestling outfit? For no reason at all, I'm just a wrestler now. El Ruadh. You'll never guess. El Redhead. My above message was missed. I get 2 or 3... Casey. I've said before, I will get to messages as I read through. I get 2 or 3 unskippable ads, and the worst time is on ASMR videos, just as you get to a very loud and ad ruins the experience. I've had that happen as well. I've had that happen before. It drives me mad. So, although sometimes I'm so sleepy, I start falling asleep, and like the ad starts influencing my dreams. And I need him to be insanely stronger than me. That's understandable. I understand. Hello, Mayume. No worries. No worries. Just be mindful. Hello, Mayume. Welcome in. Welcome in. How you doing? How you doing? Twitch ads are so long too. Like, why are you giving me 5 unskippable ads for ASMR? It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. It's why I still don't have a vanish command. Young Ua running through liminal spaces from Billy Mays telling him to get on the ball. Rua Mays here. Has this ever happened to you? And it shows like Haru with her dolls, and she fucking just crushes her dolls in her hands for no reason at all. It's like, do you not want this to happen to you? Get these new titanium dolls right here for double the price. My message was missed. I don't have a vanish. I need to look into that one. Why would I do that? They're expensive. Yeah, no, that's why you don't want to do it. That's why you don't want to do it, Haru. Because they're expensive. Liminal maze would be such a good theme for YouTube. It's just a blank space. It's the fucking back rooms, but just really quietly in the distance down like one of the halls, you can just hear Billy Mays here. And I got a deal for you. I'm just imagining like you're walking along and like every now and again it gets closer. It's like slightly louder. Light reverb on Zorby's commercial from different stereo angles. I fucking love those videos. I love those videos where it's an infomercial and the person, don't pinch me, Keith. No. No. And like they get no. Start mixing the sentences. Oh my god, that would actually drive you insane. But like they're just so bad at everything they do. Can I have like right now you guys are the YouTube ads, by the way. You're the YouTube ads with poking me and touching and prodding me. Meanies. You're worse than you. No, you're not worse than YouTube ads. You're not worse than YouTube ads. Total nonsense, and the footsteps are getting louder. See, I don't mind head pats though. Those are nice. Those are the good. It's good. Even the ads interrupt the streams. I actually don't get ads too often. YouTube ads, except you have to do push-ups to watch the video. Everyone will get really strong in their chest and triceps, though. I'm worse than any ads. Yeah, I know. I agree. I'm aggressively worse than YouTube. No. Haru, yes. You're fine. No, Haru, you bitch. Get down and give me 100. You're going to get like 25 and you're going to like it. Let me get down. Remember, guys, by the way, remember, this is ASMR. This is relaxing. This is relaxing, guys. Remember that. That's the aim of this stream. Okay? The aim of this stream is to relax. That's why I'm shouting loudly and laughing and doing push-ups on stream. Do you think any of my like ASMR friends ever come in? Like, oh, Ru is doing ASMR. I wonder what he's doing. Is he reading? Is he tapping on? Is he doing those heartbeats that I like? And then they come in and I'm just like, hey, it's Billy Mays here. Okay, let's do the we're gonna go back to writing and reading. Shut the fuck. I hate it. I hate hi Vortis, by the way. Hi, thank you for the head pat. I hate writing and reading. It's reading and writing. It's reading and writing. It's not writing and it's not writing and reading. It's reading and writing. Hang Hang on. Okay, let me do my push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27, 28, 29, 30. There we go. There we go. He said 6. I ought to ban you guys for that one. Mayumi Haru banned for life. Get that butt down. I want to see perfect posture. Yeah, I'm accidentally like recording myself. I have a camera streaming directly onto me. Wait. There we go. You just hit 40? Congrats, Mayumi. I'm letting it go. No, yeah. Don't dwell on it. Just move on it. Just move past. Thank you, Vortis. Get her ass. Gonna draw you with negative ass. But how does negative? Well, actually, no. You know what? I've seen what that means. That's basically the Niji Sanji males, like the old Niji Sanji Luxium models, where they turn to the side and there's nothing to speak of back there. There's not a hint of a curve. It's concave. It's concave. Please get a fat rugby ass if you ever get a 3D model. I will. Don't worry. I will, Haru. That's my plan. I've said before, I think, that if I ever got a 3D model, I will be asking for a little bit of junk in the trunk. Get that BBL, bro. No, it's not gonna be like indecent. It's not gonna be like ridiculous. But it's going to be like, it's gonna be it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be ridiculous. It's not gonna be indecent. It's gonna be decent. You don't even know our tongue, do you? Such arrogance. To dare take for yourself the name of Dova. Assborn. You get a BBL and you call yourself Assborn. You did not forge it in the gym. Don't give us a bulge though. That's the fan artist job. It will be present. It will. It won't be like obscene. The only reason to wear a cape like that is to hide the absolute drywall silhouette back there. But see, the thing is that it can be taken off though. It can be taken off though. Don't give us a bulge, guys. I'm in like a tunic that like hangs away from me. Now, like the question would be if I ever have like a light source, or like if it's like if the clothing is like wet and I have like a light source behind me, what then? But like no, I have a real man wouldn't be stopped by a tunic, but it's like a baggy one though. It's like a baggy one. It's just gonna be hanging. You guys, it's never been confirmed. It's never been confirmed if Ruadh wears underwear or not. Who knows? Can't believe it, your dragonborn. Swinging in the trees. Yeah, that's why you're not allowed to look up there. That's why even if I like spin upside down, it doesn't fall down. Commando under that skirt. You know who has an actual rigged dilly dang, as the kids call it, the dilly dang, the ting-a-lang, the bits and bobs, the rig, yeah, no, rigged, like it like spins and stuff. The hot dog and meatballs. I don't know what else they call it. I don't know if it spins, but It does apparently move, but Harumizuki's new model, apparently, well, I say apparently, I've seen that Discord post. Has it? Yeah, Haru got a new model, and he talked about it on stream. The dog, he wouldn't like that, but yes, the dog. He prefers Heckhound. He says it's not a dog. It's very distinctly not a dog, and it's closer to a wolf. But, you know. Oh, hello, Pip. Welcome in. Welcome in. Skyrim lines from the game. I recognize them. Rue is Scottish. When did I ever say I was Scottish? Hello, D. It's nice to see you. How you doing? How's my favorite angel girl? Why do I have... What the fuck? What's been going on these last few streams, man? Like, the viewership's been good. I feel like, am I being, like, punked? Am I like on MTV Punked? Did they recreate that? And like, so like guys and like kick down my door and be like, we pretended for you to have high viewership for like 2 streams. How do you feel knowing your dreams were broken? You're gonna get jumped. I'm gonna get jumped and they're gonna rob my viewers. What's a 15 plus viewer CCV viewer like you doing down here, huh? This is 1 view territory, buddy, and then they like hit me with baseball clubs. Baseball clubs? What? Golf clubs was the word I was looking for. Baseball clubs. You're on vacation? Ooh, may I ask where you are on vacation? If that's okay, or is that like that's like doxing kind of? Like are you going somewhere pretty? Are you going somewhere nice? Why is my first question about the programming not why would they do that? I don't know. Ashton Kutcher pops in on the screen to laugh at you. No, dude, if Ashton Kutcher popped in and laughed at me on screen, I'd end it. It would be so over. I can't deal with that. Golf clubs and baseball bats, I know. Your brain must be lagging. No, I'm just not American brain like all of you knowing what baseball bats are. You're still in Oz, but in a different place from your home. Are you in the outback, D? Are you like fighting kangaroos and not getting bit by poisonous spiders and like living on the land? You throwing boomerangs at things? Are you gonna do something special for once? Okay, I don't know. You guys know me. I'm not good when it comes to special things. What would I even do for 1K? Fighting big spiders. Ah, fucking hell. No, wait, no, that's not Australian at all. Wait. Hang on. I gotta get a bogan. Yeah, dear, you having a good time down in Australia then? Yeah. You having a bang up old time? Be careful of those kangaroos, I have to say. They're feisty little buggers. Well, some of them are pretty big. Some of them get over 12 feet tall. And when they stand up, you better watch out for their tail. Big, strong tail, yeah. Drunk karaoke. I guess I could do a karaoke. I don't think they're 12 feet tall. That seems ridiculously tall. Maybe if they like bounce, maybe they can bounce 12 feet. I just said that as a number. That's such a cool accent. That's my attempt. Going from the outback to the big city. Oh, wait, it's the opposite then. What do city Aussies sound like? Do they sound very refined? Take a shot every time you mistake a person for another. That sounds dangerous. Imperial measurement. My immersion is ruined. Oh, he gets 1 point. He gets 2.2 meters tall. Is Ruadh a lightweight or heavyweight? I forgot. I can drink decently. Like I know people who can definitely handle more drink than me, but I can definitely drink well. I'm Irish too. Very cool. Very cool. Shot. No, thank you. I don't want to get shot. Just don't be alarmed when you see things like, lights and cars. It's normal for those to be in the big city. Cars are things that you sit into and they go fast. They allow travel over long distance. Long distance, okay? Um, imagine horse cart, but many horses. But horses in car. There's so many planes flying. Guys, you have to be kind to your country pumpkin. Horse in cart. Yeah, it's the engine is what we call that. I used to be capable of drinking. You've lost all your tolerance. Oh no, felt drunk after a bottle of wine recently. Hello, Yuki. Don't pinch me. Don't fucking pinch me. Get off me, D. No. Don't get off of me. Get off of me. If you guys haven't, by the way, if you guys haven't heard D sing before, the chat goes fast because new messages are being sent every second. The new messages pushes up the old messages, causing a fast chat. That is how fast chats work. But I'm doing my best to keep track of things. Sometimes that can get really frustrating though. You're like reading something and it disappears off screen. How you doing, Ruadh? I'm doing well. We're doing our little pre-reading chat. Our little pre-reading. Cars should be an engine that pulls a metal cart attached by bars welded to both. like a engine drawn cart. That sounds dangerous. Can you turn it to a slow chat as well? Okay, fine. I'm now making it subscriber only. Sorry, guys. From now on, my chat will be subscriber only. Not even follower only. Subscriber only. A total of... Let me check. 6 people will be able to chat, including me. I said slow, not subscribe. What the fuck? Hell yeah, brother. Tier 3 subs only. Yeah, guys, from now on, it's tier... You have to be a tier 3. A tier 3 6-month sub only. A circle asks a plane to help it roll faster. The plane says no, I'm not inclined. That's fucking stupid, boy. I don't like that that's made me giggle. It's just Ua talking to himself. It would be. But that's like the best stream. That's like, what if I just made what if I got a load of AI bots based off of me and I had them in my chat being my chatters? I'd literally be like, it would just be me and like 20 versions of me. That would be the best stream ever. Everyone would agree with me. You're too broke for tier 3. I don't know, like that can be, some people have so many subscriptions. He'll be lonely. No, not if I'm schizophrenic, exactly, Aaron. Not if I become schizophrenic, then I won't be lonely anymore. Haha, yes, Rua, you are correct, sir. Rua too. So generous to your viewers to let them chat at tier 3 in at least 2-year follow age. And you have to have at least like the tier 5 bits donation badge. If you haven't donated at least like 500,000 bits, you're insta-banned and deleted. Do we have the followage command? I almost typed Foley. I went to type it, then I was like, why would I type it? And then we do actually, look at that. And then I typed foliage. You don't do enough ear licking for tier 3. I'm sorry. Hey, look at that. Oh my god, Pip, over 1 year and 4 months. Aeronaut, 10 months. Dumbass. Haru, banned, no months. Amazing. 2 years and 7 months. That's crazy. What the fuck? I didn't even realize it's been 7 months. Wow, I've been streaming for almost 7 years. Wait, what? No. What the 7 months is what I focused on there. 2 years and 7 months. Almost 3 years. And and I'm not even at 1,000 followers. Damn, dude. I fucking should just end it. Lancelot also 2 years and 7 months, 21 days and 5 hours. It does not feel like 10 months. What the fuck? The 2026 is going way too quickly, by the way. Like, it feels like a month ago it was New Year's. It's been almost 3 years, 7 months. Don't be mean to me. We're the OGs. Yeah, you're all old. I don't have watch time. I spent 0 seconds watching Ruadh. Casey, you don't even have my stream open. You just have the chat open. That's really funny. That's really funny. I was 16 hours ahead of you. That shit doesn't work. No sex. No sex, Vortis. It's like everyone else on this chat. Every other of my viewers, no sex, unfortunately. D, is it not working for you? Oh no! What the fuck? Why is it working for D? Oh. Oh wait, I thought that said 5 months and 15 days. I was about to go in on you, D. I was about to go in on you. But I missed the 2 up there. 2 years and 5 months. Mayume, 6 months and 30 days. It works. 2 years, so old. I was gonna like cry. I was gonna like clutch or Genduki fan art to my chest and cry. Hello, Corpse Bride. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for the first time chat. Brian Boru and Clontarf reading ASMR. It's turned into a just chatting. I will say, Casey, all my reading streams are always just chatting for like the first 45, 50 minutes, sometimes an hour. Sometimes it does become a just chatting stream. Jokes, I haven't followed this whole time. That's not even... This is just a bot you made for you to talk for me to feel like you're talking to me. Just chatting for an hour minimum because he's a yapper. I'm not a yapper. You're a yapper. Yapper. He chats for like hours. Guys, I'm not even like that good of a yapper. Like, Haru can talk, can do like can do like 24-hour streams. Daya can do also 24-hour streams and continue to do like 24-hour streams for like 3 days. Or at least like 10-hour streams for like a week straight. I like peter out after like 3 hours at most. After our chat. Yeah. We will be getting into Brian Boru. Okay, Mr. Yappington. Yes, I am Mr. Yappington. Juko of Yappershire. If you can't make small talk about the weather in at least 5 different ways, you can't live in Yappington. Or Yappingtonshire. I'm not a yapper, he says while yapping. Charles Yapington III. I love that this character got a proper introduction. Of course, Mr. Yappington III, Charles Yappington III, Esquire. Wait, is Esquire even good? Yeah, I will say Esquire. I typed yay. That's my cousin. Oh, here he comes now. Hi, it's Charles Yayington III. Jolly, the very, as they say, the very gay cousin. Gay meaning happy and Don't call me over, squeal. Go drink. Okay, fine. I almost grabbed my mouthwash. Why do I have my mouthwash next to my PC? That should be in the bathroom. A Brit being happy? Oh yeah, because Yappington, Sir Yappington is definitely a British type. Mouthwash. Why is it on your table, bro? It's like off to the corner. It's like all the way to the corner. Like I have to like lean to touch it. But what I probably did was I probably just like did it while I was walking around. And I carried it in here, put it down, and I he wants to drink it. Yeah, every day I take a swig. Whenever you guys tell me to hydrate, I take a swig of Listerine Total Care. I just swallow it down whole. No mixer. Rosemary chugging mouthwash. Dude, that would make you sick as fuck. I got a moisturizer today, and it had like SPF 15, or yesterday, and I sent Fua a photo of it, and I was like, Fua, look, I got moisturizer, and it's even like a mini sunscreen. You told me sunscreen was like good for skincare, and he was like, 15, it may as well not be anything. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, don't be mean to me. At least your mouth will be extra clean. Exactly. The assumption I made is that Yappington is British, not calling the Irish Brits. Thank you for this, for being... Unlike Daya, for instance. Daya would just pretend to not know what's going on. Gluck, gluck ASMR. No, Harry, you need to go to... other ASM artists for that type of stuff. Hello, Nomi Gaming, and hello, 1x157. I was so lost in thought that I forgot there's no Morrowind being played today. Oh, yeah. A nice refreshing ship of Listerine. A nice refreshing ship of Listerine. Fuwawa jumping your skincare. He did like give me a little applause for getting into skincare more. He gave me a suggestion. He gave me what was it called again? I made a funny joke at him about it. Where is it? He was like, I also tried to buy a new sunscreen. This one's quite viral. I do have it. SPF 50, and it's like beauty of Joseon rice probiotic sunscreen. And I said, rice probiotics? That's not fair. It's literally Asian coded. Yeah, because your skin crusty. I have decent skin, okay? I have decent skin. It's skin-like. The chat moves far slower, and when Morrowind is not being... it's just because I'm more active reading. When I'm playing Morrowind, I'm like screaming and like complaining about how bullshit it is that they can one-shot me. It'll slow down again. It's already slowing down, but it will slow down again when I get to reading. Because people will either just fucking leave... I lurk when Morrowind because he done yap. Yeah, I think a lot of people do that. Or they just have me on in the background. And it's normal. Like, even some of the biggest streamers in the world see that. Good second monitor content. Good no monitor content. Just put me in the corner. Draw you oiled up. Draw me oiled up with my new moisturizer. And Fua just tudding, saying, no good, you burn. I'll stay for Brian Boru and Clontarf reading. Thank you, Casey. While you drawing weird stuff, because that's what Haru does. Quispy ur. I don't want to burn, though. Oh, I just got a flashback to when I got like a really bad back sunburn. Wow, Irish people make so many jokes about having pale skin, even though I have Irish ancestry and my skin isn't that pale. Me, when getting foundation, finding out my skin is too pale for 99% of colors. Vortis, are you a fucking white page? Are you a blank page? Why do people leave during Brian Boru reading? It's not even that they leave, it's a lot of people just kind of like click off and leave me on in the background. And it's because when I'm reading, I'm not, like, actively reading and responding to chat. I'm being silly and funny. Girl, get white face paint at this point. That's white face. Haru. I don't think you can suggest that. I can suggest that. You can't. Get out of the stream. You're already white. That's fucked up. Wait, where's my thing? Baby powder it up. I want to get one of those, like... I want to get one of those... You know those, like, big, fluffy pads? That, like, you dip in the powder and then you, like, just plump it on your face. That's the only word I can think of is plump. Like, you just plump it on your face and it makes all dust and you get, like, just white powder on your face. Why did they do that? Go to an Asian skincare place. They're all so pale, too. But they have, like, skin whitening stuff as well. They, like, do plump. Exactly. Not pump. That's a very different thing. Don't look that one up. You're going to powder your face. Yeah, exactly. To set makeup, methinks. Oh, I see. I know nothing about makeup. I'll ask Fua about it. I don't think Fua uses makeup, though. He does, like, a little bit of skincare, but not much. Not much, like, in makeup, for example. So I'll ask... Who will I ask? Will I ask all of the many ladies that so wonderfully join my chat about makeup? No. I'll ask one of my male VTuber friends. One of them definitely uses makeup. Bit of an exaggeration, but a lot of light colors were still not the right color. Oh, I see. Meaning the chat moves far slower when you read. That's again, it's just due to the fact that I'm not actively responding. A lot of people are just listening. Sometimes they try and break me. They try and make me stop reading, and I hate it. Lots of people leave chat alert during Brian Boru reading, just leaving or using the chat as the background. Exactly, Case. Exactly. Guys look good with eyeliner because they have long lashes. Fucking males. Yeah, I know you. I know you do. I had that said to me before. I had a girl say to me like, "Ruadh, you have such long eyelashes. Can I put eyeliner on you?" Oh no, not eyeliner. What's the thing? Is that mascara? Mascara when you like the thingy that goes on your eyelashes. Eyeliner is like the thing that goes under your eye, like it lines your eyes, obviously. Nope, bats eyelashes. Oh, that's cute. I'll be listening during it. Thank you, Casey. Like, why do you have it when you don't even use it? I don't even use it. What are you talking about? I use it naturally. A beautiful eyelashes naturally. I'm sorry, I frog blinked there. You didn't see that. I use it when I frog blink. It makes my frog blinks better. Literally. Mascara. Mascara. I feel like I have eyeliner, or they're like eye bags. Yeah, let me get close to you guys. See, I like kind of have like eyeliner. Look, see, like the red under my eyes. John Lee eyes, yes, John Lee. Need a frog blink. I kind of think I do now. We will be. I was actually looking at the time, Casey. I was thinking like the next 5 minutes. Like at 55, I'll probably go into it. Eyeshadow. Ah, so this will be eyeshadow. Thank you, Legend, for the face. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's cute being so close. That's really cute being close. Ugh, my big strong dragon. Is it Zhongli? Is that how you pronounce it? Mama did so good with the eyes, so pretty. She did. Inka did amazing. Unfortunately, it's piloted by me. I don't know anything about Genshin except Zhongli is hot as fuck. I do remember looking it up. I think that was what happened. I think Mama put out art of Zhongli, and I was like, "Can you just do my eyes like this, but like make them blue?" And she was like, "Okay." And I could sense even through the messages, like, excellent. I had to stay for your reading. This is my. I hope you enjoy this one when I get to it. Like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I was about to say promise 2 minutes, but you know, Ruadh, you got very pretty eyes. Oh, thank you, Mayume. It's very kind of you. I didn't draw them all by myself. Felt like a Victorian man seeing ankles when his wrist was showing in one of the museum collab thingies. Clothing does make things more erotic, though. Like when you can't see something. But like I remember Kaida Haru talking about this before. Kaida was explaining that they like him and one of the Niji Sanji girls, their JP side, was talking about like Kaida was explaining that he likes his pantsu shots. Let's call them that. Like no visual. Like you can't see what's under there. It's black. Because it allows the mind to imagine. Brian Boru was a high king of Ireland. That he was. And we're about to learn about his father And about his rise, Mr. Ua prepping the gags to shut us up. Ua Pantsu shot when? Well, it's gonna be. He doesn't have. Yeah, it's gonna have to be black. Like, it's gonna have to be darkness that you can't see. Not that they're black colored. It's gonna be darkness. Have you guys ever seen me next to other VTubers? You realize how pale, how fair skinned. I actually don't like the word pale for fair skin. I feel like it sounds bad, but it's like fair skin is very beautiful. Like an ex of mine was a redhead with very fair skin and, good lord, pale. Now, when I think of the pale, I think of both the pale from history of Ireland, the part that England ruled over, and also the pale from Skyrim. But he died. But anyway. Speaking not of Skyrim, but someday I should do like an Elder Scrolls or reading stream. We're gonna get into the reading session. Is Ua modeled after your Pwitty ex? No. No. Ua is not modeled after my Pwitty ex. They would be a lot more curvy at the waist if that was the case. And even the hair would be long at point, a little longer. Curvy. I'm gonna draw curvy with thank you, Haru. But I do believe it's time to get into the reading, so I do hope you guys are able to chill out, put me in the corner somewhere. Get gagged, D. I like that image. I should have a gag command that just makes you all shut up. I do technically, but it would be funny to do it like as a command. Go drink before you read. Actually, why the fuck? What the fuck? Gag everyone? No, what the fuck? I'm not that type of streamer. Okay. Oh my god. That scared me. I have a Lucozade sports bottle, you know, the ones with like the top that you can like hold and it will build pressure and then eventually will spray you. And then it makes like a squeezy noise. I took a drink and I put it aside and the bottle like popped and it like freaked me out. Okay. Reading time. Rua, relax. Chill out. Actually do ASMR. So when we last left off, we were learning about Keníntig, who was, I believe if I remember correctly, Brian Boru's father. And he was the man who really set the Dal Kish, the branch that Brian Boru belonged to. Now, I'll probably be corrected on who he was exactly in a moment. On the map, really as one of the dominant, one of the two dominant Munster families, the other being the Oanokta. And eventually kind of paved the way for Brian Boru to kind of take over Munster, for one, and eventually go on to become High King of Ireland. Or at least become as close as anyone had ever really gotten there. Which kind of makes me think of Philip II of Macedon, and how he very much built the very foundation that Alexander the Great would go on to conquer most of the known world. What happened to the sub-badges? We should have them still. Haru, I think, was one of the first. Yeah, like Legend has the sub-badge. Haru was one of the first, like, founder sub. So, Haru gets that one. How would I say this? Keníntig's achievements. We must therefore credit Keníntig mac Lorchan with the establishment of Dal Cash as one of the two great provincial powers in Munster. On Lower Movnook, for what it is worth, describes him as the first king of Dal Cash to lead an army beyond his own territory and mentions an expedition as far as Athlone, probably by means of the Shannon, which led to a month-long assault on the Connachtmen. Even if that particular episode is a fable, Kennetig may nevertheless have been able to make hay to the north because of a crisis among the Unail in those years. In 943, the death took place of the High King Doncad Don of the southern Unail dynasty of Clan Colmain, Kennetig's son-in-law for a time until, as we have seen, he had his Dal Cash wife executed for adultery. His death propelled Clan Colmain into an upheaval that lasted for 30 years and involved no fewer than 7 men, enjoying 7 brief and violent reigns as King of Mead until the emergence of the great male Shacknail II in the mid-970s. I can't use a comfy emote, it's locked for me. Oh, I'm sorry. I can only choose so many emotes to be free. Where book? Oh, thank you, legend. I almost forgot. Oh, that's a cute emote. I really like these as well. Excuse me. Let me check something. Who does? Okay. Mine's very cute too. I like the blue. The removal of Doncad Don's iron fist, which had now battered heavily on Munster, and the paralysis that gripped Meath thereafter, surely allowed Kennetig's family unprecedented room for manoeuvre. Clan Colmain's centre of gravity was, after all, the western part of the present-day counties of Westmeath and Offaly, making them Dal Cash's near neighbours. And nearer neighbours still because of their competing exploitation of the Shannon passageway, especially as Dal Cash began to expand east of the Shannon into north-east Tipperary. For many years, Doncad Don's position as King of Tara had been coming under challenge from his northern Unail counterpart, the Kinneal known King of Ailuk, Mercatok na Hochel Crachin, son of Niall Blundub. Even while Doncad lived, Mercatok took an active interest in southern affairs, and indeed it was he who led more than one spectacular Unail invasion of Munster toward the end of Doncad's life, campaigns that later entered into Mercatok's dynastic folk memory. There was every expectation, therefore, that Mercatok would succeed Doncad Don as King of Tara, which would have entailed further pressure on Munster. But in fact, he predeceased the king by about a year or so when caught in a skirmish with the Norse of Dublin in 943. Therefore, when Doncad Don died, there was no outstanding candidate for supremacy among the dominant lines, and the kingship of Tara was seized by Congalach Noba of North, of the southern Unail dynasty of Shiel Ned O'Slán, none of whose ancestors had ever held the honour in more than 2 centuries. And Congalach's position as High King was consolidated following the defeat and death in 950 of his northern challenger, Ruadh Ua Cananan, at the hands of the Dublin Norse under their king Amleb Coran, predeceased. It's an interesting way of phrasing it. Or well, it's a neat little word. Congalach's ancestral kingdom of northern Brega in the Boyne Valley was a long way from that of Kennetig of Dalcash, and yet no sooner had his position as King of Tara been secured than he committed himself to the pursuit of the old Unail goal of dominance over the Lethamoga, the southern half of Ireland, by invading Munster. In 950, we are told, Congalach led a hosting into Munster so that he plundered Irmumu. Thank you for the head pat, Casey. This is the County Kerry area of West Munster, and so it is very surprising, unless Irmumu is a mistake for Tuathmumu, to find that one of the most significant outcomes of the assault was the killing of 2 of Kennetig's sons, Echtgern, progenitor of the Ui Echtgern of Aherns, or Aherns, and Doncun, from whose sons we get families such as Ui Kennetig, or the O'Kennedys, perhaps U Longairgairn, Olon. God, that's a odd name. Olonegans, and Uikelachan, Ukelachar, O'Kelleher's, and Uiriachon, O'Regans. Whether the invasion in 950 was of West or North Munster, it was a direct challenge by the Unail king of Tara to Kenneatig's family, and is remarkable testimony to the hostility between them. The latter was surely the intended target, therefore, when, in the following year, Congalach appeared with a full fleet of Leith Cuan. The northern half of Ireland, on Loch Derg in the Shannon, very much Kenneatig's backyard, and plundered all the islands of the lake and obtained hostages and sway over Munster. After some opposition, Ro Uskert de no ile in a sera an Locha, agus ro Gavstadt Gael, agus Nyart move on, ear na fri, Bert friw. Girl, you're tough. I would have just said, for the difficult names. I'm struggling too, don't worry. Many of these are old, like, weird Irish spellings too. And when I say weird Irish spellings, I mean, like, very odd at times. To the point that I think even, like, people who are good at Irish would probably be like, oh, some of those are awkward to read. At some point in the same year, Kenneatig died, and it is fascinating to see the range of titles bestowed on him in the annals, assuming they had not been tampered with at a later date, which is always a possibility. Chronicon Scotorum calls him King of Dalkesh, Re Dalkesh. The annals of Ulster go one step further in geographical extent and call him King of Tuath Mumu, Riad Tuath Muman. But the Munster set called the Annals of Inishfallen applies the most ambitious style, yet awarded to a member of Brian's family. Recorded simply, Mors Kenneatig, Lachon Ridamna Cashel, the death of Kenneatig, son of Lorcan, the Rig Dama, or I think that means Overking, of Cashel. Yeah, the kingship of Munster. Cashel in this context means the kingship of Munster. Rig Damna is a term that might on occasion mean nothing more than that a person was worthy of the kingship. Before this period, it has been shown to be quite a technical term. When the kingship was held by the head of one dynastic line, the term Rig Damna was frequently applied to the head of the main, usually competing dynastic line, not in possession of the kingship. If, therefore, the entry in the Annals of Inishfallen is contemporary, it is a remarkable statement to the heights to which Kenneatig had brought his lineage. This petty chieftain from County Clare had earned the honour of being the province's Rig Damna, because he had made his lineage the leading dynastic group not then in possession of the kingship. He was therefore worthy of being Overking of all Munster, and his dynasty had an undeniable valid claim to the kingship should the opportunity to stake it arise. Another sip of water. Lochna mac Kenneatig. Kenneatig may have greatly advanced the fortunes of his lineage, but it was by no means plain sailing from this point onwards. The Coga, although written more than 100 years later, claims that Kenneatig was slain, as does the King List in the 12th century Book of Leinster. And although we are not told by whom, the context of the Coga's mention of it in a list of Irish heroes who fell at Norse hands suggests that the Vikings of Limerick may have played some part. What seems to have happened is that Kenneatig's son Lochna succeeded him in kingship, although Lochna is not given a royal style in the annals, who in turn was dead within 2 years, struck down by enemies of the family. The 12th century genealogies say that Lochna was slain by Ua Flaend, and on Lower Mirvanuk adds to them the Ua Cairnig. Both were rival branches of the Dalkesh, and the death of Lochna at their hands therefore shows that Brian's family were by no means safe from the competing aspirants to the kingship. If Lochna had lived, he would no doubt have headed the family for a great many years, and his younger brother Brian would have been but a trusty lieutenant. But it was not to be so. Instead, it was Lochna who all but vanished from histories. When the genealogists were recalling the family tree of his father, Cynethig, a couple of centuries later, the only additional detail they thought to record, apart from Lochna's ascension to the kingship after his father's death and his murder at the hands of the Flaend, was that there was still a place named after him, Grianon Lochni in Crealich. This is now the townland of Craglea, near which the ring fort of Borama is situated, and so presumably the Grianon, which can mean a sunroom or bower or perhaps a sunny green, was a residence Lochna had built for himself beside the main family fortress. Perhaps it was built before his succession, while his father was still alive and occupying the nearby Borama fort. In the early 20th century, the great Limerick antiquary Thomas Johnson Westrup published a detailed description of what he considered to be the site. At that date, he said was still known to the local people as Grianon. Math Gamen mac Cynethig. Fortunately for the dynasty, Lochna's death led to no great crisis, because there were still at least 3 of Cynethig's dozen sons alive and able to step into the branch. One of these was Marchon, who indeed was to live for more than another half-century. He, however, was to become a churchman, who was temporarily installed as abbot of Enley in 990, and when he died in 1010, was ascribed as head of the clergy in Munster, Ken Clearloch move on, by which point he was the pluralist abbot of Terryglass, near the northeastern corner of Loch Derg of Inishkeltra, on the loch, and of the family's home church in Killaloe. Presumably he had embraced the clerical life early and was not in the running to succeed Lochna, although we have seen that it was not unheard of in Munster for men in holy orders to assume the kingship. If Marchon was the youngest of the 3 remaining sons, the middle one was undoubtedly Brian, who had to bide his time again, as the kingship went to another of the brothers, Math Gomon. Math Gomon got a lucky opportunity within months of his succession, because of the death of the king of Munster, Cealchain Cashel, causing the Oanocht overkingship to descend into a tailspin from which it never recovered. Although the Chalchain, the O'Callaghan's, take their name from him, and he was the direct ancestor too of the more successful Mac Cairthig, or the MacCarthys, descended from his great grandson Carthuk. Cealchain's immediate successors in the kingship of Cashel were ephemeral characters. Over the next decade, 4 Oanocht dynasts held the kingship in rapid succession, but all died violently, at least 3 of them at the hands of kinsmen. The last of them was Cealchain's son Doncha, whose grasp of the kingship was so faltering that he is not included in the list of kings of Cashel that have come down to us. At the time of his death in 963, however, he was called King of Cashel by the annalists, and even the author of the Coga, always anxious to exaggerate Dalcaish's claim to kingship, nonetheless had their enemy Doncha as king. So Math Gamen can have become king of Cashel only at some point after Doncha mac Cealchain's death in 963, as the Oanocht were dissolving into confusion. But if this calamity provided circumstances conducive to Mac Gamen's rise to power, still the achievement was his. Although later overshadowed by his remarkable younger brother Brian, Math Gamen mac Cynethig was no lightweight. We know nothing about the early years of his active career, from 953 onwards, as head of the family and of the wider Dalcaish, given that his brother, and perhaps his father before him, were murdered by internal dynastic rivalries. These must have been years of bare survival. In fact, it is only in 959 that he appears in a historical record at all, and yet by then he was in outwardly aggressive mode, launching an attack on the monastery of Clonmacnoise, presumably a waterborne assault from the Shannon. Assault on a monastery? Clonmacnoise, like all the great churches of the age, was a heavily politicized institution. Perhaps it had been closely aligned with the Clan Cholmain kings of Mead, but it was now coming under the sway of the Shiel Muirdig of Ua Briún Ai. At least it was now where their royal family chose to be buried, the family that would soon emerge bearing the name Ua Cruthur, or O'Connor, as the most potent in Connacht. Whoever Matgamain's aggression was aimed at, it was certainly no mundane attack on a monastery, but rather an offensive against a political opponent under whose protection Clan Macnoise then was. It therefore shows us that Macgamon Mackianatig was beginning to make an impact. What is more, we are told that the assault on Clan Macnoise was by Macgamon and, quote, and by the men of Munster. The implication being that he was the leader of the Munstermen at that time. He might not yet be King of Munster, strictly speaking, but the same year had seen the assassination of the latest Oanocht claimant, Dub da Baron, who was replaced by the very obscure Fairgrid, who in turn was felled by his own kin. So there's some numbers here. Dub da Baron, 957 to 9, or 959, and Fairgrid, 959 to 961. And it is certain that Macgamon was exploiting their powerlessness in order to make inroads for himself by offering the men of Munster charismatic new leadership. It is perhaps relevant that it is only at the death of the fort of the weak Oanocht kings, Doncha Mac Callaghan, that Macgamon once more crops up in the headlines. And again he is at war with Shannon-side opponents in the north. The king of Ui Briún Berfain, or Brefna, Fergal Ua Ruark, from whose grandfather Ruark died 898, the great lineages of Ua Ruark, the O'Rourkes, descend, had earlier secured the overkingship of Connacht, and now in 963 he triumphed over the Munstermen in a battle that took place on the Shannon at Carinchi, an island on the river to the south of Clan Macnoise. Another source calls this, quote, a slaughter of the Tuatha Mumu on the Shannon, and they abandoned their vessels and were drowned. Having defeated the Munster forces there, Fergal continued south and ravished Dalcaish territory. The four masters seem to be weaving together two different records on these events, because, having told us about this raid, they add an account, as if it were a separate incident, of a slaughter inflicted by Fergal on Macgamon, in which the latter lost 140 men, including Trí Ua Lorchain. The Lorcan in question was Macgamon's grandfather, whose three slain Ui grandsons were, of course, Macgamon's brothers or first cousins. The later pro-Dalcaish source, called On Lower Muirvnuk, also records a clash between Macgamon and Fergal Ua Ruark. But if they are referring to the same event, they managed to convert it into a great victory for Macgamon. Either way, the Battle of Carinchi, I don't know how else you'd pronounce that in Irish, it looks more like Italian, is significant by the number of reasons. It would probably be Canechi, is significant for a number of reasons. It is evidence for the vitality of the Shannon, which was a contact highway for the province kings. The maneuverability it offered made it possible to fight inter-provincial wars, and it is likely that the adoption by the Irish of shipbuilding craftsmanship and naval systems introduced by the Vikings led to a more intensive exploitation of the country's waterways. Surely Macgamon and his family were rising to prominence at this point precisely because they had made themselves masters of the Shannon's potential. Also, the site of the battle demonstrates that Macgamon had ventured north out of his territory, as he had done 4 years earlier in 959, and this suggests that he has stabilized his power base at home. And again, the battle was taught as a conquest between the King of Connacht and the Munstermen. Fergal Ua Ruark secured a madam for Múvnachriv, rout of the Munstermen. And here again we see Macgamon, perhaps not yet formally king of the province, but certainly its de facto overlord. Hello, Sleepy Mosa. Hello, Daddy Ruadh. Welcome in, Mosa. How you doing? I hope you're having a nice time. We're doing just a little bit of reading. A little bit of reading. I'm doing my best with the names. But, Daddy Ruadh, he gotta go for milk. I'm sorry. No, I won't leave, I promise. While you're looking, anyway. Mummy Ua. What, are you gonna like wrap me in bandages? I'm waiting for her to crash out and be like, not that type of mummy. Mathcamon and the kingship of Cashel. It seems to have been shortly after the death of Donca Mac Celachon in 963 that Mathcamon made his bid for the overkingship of the province. The Koga was thus far had been little more than a litany of Viking raids on Irish monasteries, assiduously culled in rough chronological order from the annals, suddenly becomes specific about Norse activity on the doorstep of Brian's family. To keep you from getting the milk, yeah. We are told that a certain Imar Ua Ivmer, Ivar, grandson of Ivar, had established a Norse base on Inish Siabthun, King's Island, at Limerick, from which the Norse forced the Munstermen into abject servitude. But, we are told, in the year following the death of Donca Mac Celachon, Mathcamon assembled a Dal Céis to ask advice on whether he should make war on the Norse, because it pretends that his blatant usurpation of the Oanachta kingship was a patriotic war against the foreigners, and of course his people said that they preferred meeting death and destruction and annihilation and violence in defending the freedom of their patrimony and of their race, rather than submit to the tyranny and oppression of foreigners, or Almarach, and abandon their country or their lands to them. Mathcamon agrees to do as they advised, and leapt into action. But what the Koga describes is not a war on Vikings, but his agreeing to, quote, go to Cashel of the Kings, and to Oanacht also, for that was the chief residence of Munster and the principal seat of the descendants of Allil. Very properly, too, for it was the Aelach of Munster and the Tara of Leath Moga. It was also the place of the Dal Céis's, origins and their ancestral birthright. He said that it was better and more righteous to do battle and combat for their inheritance, and for their native right, than for land acquired by conquest and the sword, and that though they must never necessarily sustain labour or loss in defence of the freedom of the chief seat of Munster, and the two sustaining pillars, the Oanachta and the Dal Céis, of the government and sovereignty of Ireland, it was for that they ought to contend and seek. Can you help me? You're on vacation now, but the only thing you do is bed rotting. What should you do? You just go out. Go out and look for things to do. I understand, like, I can be like that sometimes on vacation. You need to just get up and go out and stroll along, look for something interesting. You can even use your phone to look up something interesting. Maybe, I don't know, if you're somewhere sunny, maybe you go even down to a beach, or touch grass, find a new hobby, stand rotting. Exactly, start stand rotting. Get talking to some of the locals, try out some of the language. I don't know. Do your best. I believe in you, Mosa. Don't bed rot on a vacation. Although maybe you mean that you're just on like break. Bed rotting is so addictive. I know. Talk to Ua while walk rotting. Just get up and walk. Even just going for a walk is good. It will help clear your head and might help you avoid bed rotting, because you'll have like an idea of, oh, I can do this. Bird watch. You're so right, D. Yeah, go bird watch. Learn about the birds in your area. That's actually a great idea. Go out into like the nearby, if you have a nearby forest or something, like just sit by like a curb and get some binoculars or something. Just look at the birds and look up the birds and see like what type of birds you have around. Maybe you'll see some cool things. As we have seen, this assertion of Dal Céis entitlement to the kingship of Cashel is baseless, but notwithstanding this, we are told that the Dal Céis army then invaded the territory of the Oanachta. but only to free it from the tyranny of the Norse. We are told that they marched eastward and were joined by the local Oanachta and the people called the Muscraig, from Dunasciath to Bealach from Donascia, about 13 kilometres west of Cashel, to Ballycahill, which lies about 20 kilometres further north, just west of Turles. Then Matgamon went to Matgamon. No, there's no fodder. Matgamon went to Cashel and camped at Dún Cuireadh, presumably on the rock. And great plunders and ravages and conflicts were effected by them on all sides throughout Munster, wherever the foreigners and their people were. You'll eat the birds. Don't eat the birds. Opposition to Matgamon was led, the Coga would have us believe, not by the Oanachta, but by Imar Ua Imar of Limerick, which it depicts as chief king of the foreigners of Munster and of the Irish at that time. Rí gal muman ócas goidal intan shin, after his having made all Munster tribute giving and hostage giving to the foreigners. Fachon ócas og gael shini gal. It was a mayor who summoned a great muster, and a great hostings of the men of all Munster, both Ireland and foreigners, to invade Dalkesh and reduce its population to submission or death. I can catch them. Birds are stupid. I think most birds are smart. If you can catch it, you deserve to eat it. You know what? Fair enough, but not like a barn owl. Barn owls are cool. Be nice to them. Hello, cozy reading time. Hello, Tasty. Welcome in. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a nice time and you enjoy the reading. I always, whenever I walk past pigeons and like they don't fly away, I always get a really strong urge to just pick up the pigeon. The amount of times I've walked past them and I've reached towards them and just go, pigeon. Sometimes they don't fly away. Don't eat a crow, they'll murder you. Funny. Okay, just trying to convince myself to get sleepy. I hope I can help, like, make you sleepy. Where were we? We were here. What is more, the man who we know from other sources to have been the Onacht claimant to the King of Munster at this juncture, Mael Muad Macbrian of the Onacht Ratlind, from the Bandon area of County Cork, is relegated in the Coga to being a mere lackey of Eimar's, as if Donabon MacCahill of Ui Cerbra, ancestor of the Ua Donabon or O'Donovans, a branch of the Ua Feagenti, based in County Limerick to the east of Sliab Lochra. I don't know what that sentence is. Relegated to being a mere lackey of Eimar. That's oh, as is that individual Donabon MacCahill. Together they marched on Dalkesh, Imar of Limerick and his army of Munster, both foreigners and Irish. Matgamon was joined by the kings of Delbna, who claimed the genealogical link with Dalkesh, and from one of whose branches derives the name of the barony of Delvin, County Westmeath, and by Dalkesh warriors called from home from service in the armies of the Unail, and they proceeded to Sulchoit, about 6 kilometres northwest of Tipperary, where Matgamon had the first great victory of his reign. Wasn't intentional, I just realised. You must have been so confused when I said it was funny. This battle is no fiction concocted a century or more later. This battle is no fiction concocted a century or more later by the propagandist author of the Coga. In the Annals of Inishfallen we read, for 967, we read of the defeat of the foreigners of Limerick by Matgamon, son of Kennetig, at Shulchoit. And Limerick was burned by him, being before noon on the following day. And if the other annals do not specifically mention the area, they certainly know of Matgamon's triumph over the forces of Limerick. The Four Masters report that he gained a, quote, battle rout of the foreigners of Limerick, Cavarena, Ria Matgamon, Mac for Galav Lumnig, that he slaughtered them and burned their ships and plundered their King Island fortress. Ooh, where were we? How is he reading all the story in just 2 pages? This is a magical book, okay? Just a magical book. These names are fascinating. These names are difficult to read. I feel like I'm constantly switching up pronunciations for some things too. Even shorn of the Koga's hyperbole, the scale of Matgamon's victory over the Limerick Norse seems to have been exceptional, without parallel by any of his predecessors. The Koga had his forces marching all night after victory, until they reached Limerick, 30 kilometres or so as a crow flies, and while we rightly mistrust the author's tendency to overplay its heroic deeds, still it is worthy of note that the contemporary annalist specifically pointed out that Limerick was sacked before noon the next day, as if to emphasise that there was something unusually impressive about this feat of military dexterity. At Limerick, Matgamon's forces overran the Norsemen's fortress, their dún, and slaughtered them on the streets and in the houses, Erna Skatab Orcus in Talb. And, quote, they carried off their jewels and their best properties, and their saddles, beautiful and foreign, their gold and their silver, their beautiful woven cloth of all colours and all kinds, their satin and silken cloth, pleasing and variegated, both scarlet and green, and all sorts of cloth in like manner. They carried away their... We'll read this, guys, which is how things went back then. They carried away their soft, youthful, bright, matchless girls, their blooming, silk-clad young women, and their active, large, and well-formed boys. The fort and good town they reduced to a cloud of smoke and to red fire afterwards. The whole of the captives were collected on the hills of Singland. Every one of them was fit for war. Every one of them that was fit for war was killed, and every one that was fit for a slave was enslaved. Obviously, this picture of the opulence of the town of Limerick and of the fate of that befell its citizens is exaggerated for the effect. But the basic proposition seems valid. This was a truly memorable milestone in the ascent of the Dalcaish to national status, and in the career of Matgamon mac Cinétig. And therefore we note that when the annals of Ulster record this great triumph over the Limerick men, they call Matgamon King of Cashel, Cashel, as if these recent victories had propelled him into the very office, although they might of course mean that he was now the overlord of the Onocht Cashel, rather than that he was king of all Munster. Other sources have preserved more evidence of how Matgamon formalised his claim to kingship. The Koga describes an assault by Matgamon on the Uaedna of Onocht Éna in East Limerick, which is recorded in the Annals of Inishfallen in 968. The Koga also knows of a campaign against the Enda neighbours in the east-west of the country. Some of these are really tricky. Gienti secured the hostages of the latter's king, Donabon mac Cahill, and the Annals of Inishfallen note an expedition further west into North Kerry in 972, among the lands of the Carriga, many of whose fortresses he demolished, including Dún na Féireach, near Ballybunion. In addition, the Koga claims that Matgamon enslaved the Suirtletu, perhaps from Old Norse Svat Leja, here meaning billeted soldiers, that the Norse had quartered on the province, allegedly defeating the Norse in 7 separate battles, and forced Aimar to spend a year in banishment overseas. This occurred in 974, when his base on Inishfallen was attacked by Maccus mac Airla and the Lagmen, from Old Norse logmen, meaning lawmen, of the Isles, Aimar being brought overseas, from which he made his escape the following year. You're already feeling relaxed? I'm glad to hear it, Casey. Haru told you to just say, Thank you, Rory, for the stretch. I do kind of need it. Crack the back. There we go. Let me take a sip of water too. Let me take a quick sippy. A quick little sippy. Mm. Oh, on you. Okay, we good. We all good. I'm studying. Look proud of you, Rory, for studying. Haru, are you studying? Are you studying, Haru? Hydrate before you dihydrate, as they say. No, Haru. Study. Haru. Study. You're tired. You are feeling sick, you did say. But do your best to do some study. You gotta get ready for exam. You don't have an exam? Oh, I thought you had exams coming up. Sounds like Haru need a break. Oh, I thought you had something coming up. Never mind. You don't need to study then. It's okay. You're safe. I'm glad to hear it. It's hell here. Oh, Rory. Do your best. I believe in you. You don't want to think about it. Thank you. It's okay. Where were we? We were... here we were. Most significant of all, though, the Four Masters report that 967 that Mat Gamon led an army to Skia in Ekus, the hill of Ska, to the south of the River Bandon, so that he carried the hostages of Munster with him to his house, and expelled Mael Muad Mac Brian, Lord of Des Mumu. The assertion of the lordship over Mael Muad is recorded by the annals of Inishfallen having taken place in 969, and it seems the Four Masters have got the chronology wrong. Indeed, the same annals report a similar expedition along with the events of 969, and may therefore be duplicating accounts of the same development, to the effect that Mat Gamon led an army to Des Mumu and spent 3 nights at Cork, bringing home the hostages of Des Mumu. Your final is tomorrow. Lock it in. Good luck, Rory. You got this. You're going to do the best. You're going to do amazing. I believe in you. You're going to do amazing. You're going to do the best you can. You got this. You absolutely got this. Absolutely lock in. But now, maybe it doesn't work with you, but I would suggest don't study up until bedtime. Take an hour, take 2 hours to yourself to relax, calm down. Mentality, like your mental state going into an exam, is way more important than whatever you might get, whatever like little bit of extra info you might get going into studying for like an extra hour or two. Not being absolutely wrecked. Stay in bed so you sleep good. Don't like stay in bed. What I would recommend is do something. Go for the day before an exam, I always went for a walk. I relaxed. Maybe I grabbed a snack for myself. I get myself an ice cream or something. Your exam is in 9 hours. Never mind. That's very short. Anya, please tell me 9 hours. You should be getting to bed soon. Unless it's like a late exam. You should be getting to bed soon. Because you need to have a full rest. I started studying 1 hour ago. Gambals, Rory. Gambals. Gamba. Don't worry, you're going to pass, bro. You'll do fine. I know you've been studying hard too. Don't worry, you rested well. Okay, that's good to know. Chinese teachers just told us there's going to be almost 200 questions in the final. Ew. That's really cool you're doing Chinese, by the way. Unless you just mean like your Chinese teacher. Like, they just happen to be Chinese. You slept the whole day. You got this. That's a long time. Okay, where were we? Likewise, Akoga tells us that Mat Gamon took the hostages of Mael Muad Mac Brian, so that he took the pledges and hostages of all the men of Munster. As we have seen, Mael Muad of Oanach the Ratlin was Mat Gamon's only real contender for the kingship of Munster. When Mat Gamon captured or banished him and secured Munster's hostages, the Dalcaish king became the province's new overlord, the first of Brian's family to earn such distinction. So he's officially the ruler of Munster. We can see Mat Gamon acting as king of Munster thereafter. In 969, when Osraig was invaded by the King of Leinster, Murchad MacFinn, it was Matgamon and the men of Munster who sent him packing. Matgamon's army included also Osraig, the men of Ailey in North Tipperary, the Déisi from southeast Munster, and the Norse of Waterford, including a wide range of support, at least in that part of the province. His authority reached its peak in 972 when he presided over a major assembly of the southern nobility. The three ordinances were enacted in a council of the nobles of Munster, i.e. Matgamon and Phelan, and the sons of Bran and others, namely the banishment of the Svartlega, Norse mercenaries, the banishment of the foreigners from Limerick, and the burning of the fortress. Or in Irish, na trí cána do dínam a cumerla deag dóna múman inarba na séartoch inarba na nál a lúmnach in dún dolos agus in dún doloscud. Matgamon's two named associates in this assembly were the king of the Déisi and Maelmúd MacBrien of Onocht Ratlind, the man who would otherwise have been the king of the province himself, and therefore his participation in this convention, in this extraordinary convention, which seems to have been its sole purpose, the imposition of Matgamon's authority over the Norse of Limerick, is a great tribute to Matgamon's authority, and that prestige was on display the following year, when the Comarba of St. Patrick, the abbot of Armagh, made a visitation to Munster, partly to impose an ecclesiastical tax that was objected to by the abbot of Emly, the great church traditionally associated with the Oanachta. But Matgamon, the king of Munster, made peace between them, and they agreed on the right of the Comarba of Patrick in perpetuity. But Matgamon's dominance did not last. In 974, we hear that one of the two joint conveyors of the conference in 972, Maelmúd MacBrien, took the hostages of Munster from Limerick southwards and marched against Matgamon. And the other joint conveyor, Phelan of the Déisi, must similarly have rebelled against him, because in 975 Matgamon's army slew his son Cormac. What happened next was an act of betrayal that was widely condemned. In 976, one of Matgamon's old enemies, Danuban MacCahal of Ua Cerbra, a branch of the Ui Fidgenti, treacherously captured and handed over Matgamon at the instigation, the Coga says, of Aymar of Limerick, to his old Oanocht rival, Maelmúd MacBrien, who put to death the, quote, chief king of all Munster, Ardrí Múvan Éile, as the Four Masters call him, against the protection of saints and just men, Dar Éatoch Neamh Eferun, or as the Anish of Inishfallen puts it, in violation of the guarantee and despite the curse of the elders of Munster. It was a catastrophe for the dynasty that had never before produced a scion of such undoubted capacity. What extraordinary good fortune for Dalcaish, then, that so many of Kenneatig Mac Lorchan's fine sons, having fallen at enemy hands, there was among the pair still alive a man who was, as the Coga put it, not a pebble in the place of an egg, and he was not a wisp in the place of a club, but he was a hero in place of a hero, and he was valour after valour. This was Brian, whose extraordinary ascent to greatness would now begin. Let me see how many pages we've done. I feel like we've done a decent number. Almost a 20. How long is this chapter? Or at least this... Pretty good progress. I think so too. We actually have been making decent progress. True. Ooh, let me check something real quick. Someone just sending me some Skeb recommendations. Thank you. I'll have to respond later. Chapter 2. Brian's rise to power. We cannot be certain whether when Brian Boream was born. The annals of the Four Masters record his birth among the highlight of the year 927. Chronicon Scotorum has it with the events of 924, but annals rarely, if ever, really recorded births, and certainly not that of a person who at the time was someone of small consequence, and so we can assume that this is a later insertion. What the chroniclers are doing is working backwards from an account. Thank you, Caria, the artist 64. I forgot some underscores in that name for the follow. Very kind of you. What the chroniclers are doing is working backwards from an account of the Battle of Clontarf in 1014, which states that at that time Brian was in his 88th year. If this is true, then he was indeed born about 927. On the other hand, the annals of Ulster, for no stated reason, and again retrospectively, report Brian's birth under 941, which would make him 73 at the time of his death at Clontarf. Hello, Carrie. Thank you for the first time. Those are really cute emotes. I like the really fast wave. There are arguments in favour of both dates. As we have seen, Brian's sister Orla died as the wife of the king of Tara in 941, and two of his brothers were killed in the Battle of Magduen in 944, when obviously of fighting age. As the latest that they can have been born is the mid to late 920s. A birth date for Brian of 927 would fit perfectly well. For what it is worth too, a poem inserted in the Dalkesh propaganda tract, Koga Gala Regalev, claims a role at the Battle of Beloch Lechta in 978 for Brian's son Murchad, and Brian is more likely to have had a son of fighting age at that date if he himself was a 51-year-old rather than a 37-year-old. As against this, Brian had a son, Donca, who lived until 1064 and was old enough to succeed his father 50 years earlier, immediately after Clontarf. He was a product of Brian's marriage to the famous Gormla, which may have begun in the earlier mid-980s, and if therefore we imagine Donca being born at that time, Brian would have been about 60 if his date of birth was 927, but only in his early to mid-40s if born in 941. And this latter date seems somewhat more credible. One suspects that the portrayal of Brian dying in the Battle of Clontarf in his 88th year is a romantic notion from a later time, an idealized image of a wise old king whose long and glorious reign comes to an end in his very hour of triumph. On the contrary, as we shall see, Brian's frenetic energy in the years leading up to Clontarf suggests a man of younger years, still possessed by the soldiery force and warlike vigour that made him one of the great military commanders of his and any era. Same, I love a good frantic wave. Oh, look at all of them. They're very cute. Brian's name. Brian was presumably one of the youngest, if not the youngest, of his father's 12 sons. His mother, as noted before, was a Connacht woman, Babine, daughter of Orchud, son of Murchad, king of Connachta, to the west of Loch Corrib. We cannot say for certain how Brian's name was chosen. After his own day, the name became very familiar, and has since grown to be extraordinarily popular throughout the world, but few of those who bear the name, or chose it for their children, can be aware that it seems to have been unknown in Ireland before him, and that its popularity thereafter was due largely to his great celebrity. Presumably Brian's mother helped choose the name, and indeed the only one of Brian's contemporaries to bear it was a Brian Mac Mael Ruanoid, the king of Ir Connachta, who died in 1004, a younger kinsman of hers. Babine was a member of a dynasty descended from a man called Brion, said by the genealogists to have been a brother of Niall Nogalucht, ancestor of the Unail. But this is not quite the same name. For one thing, Brion has two syllables, and the genitive is Briun. Hence, Babine's dynasty was the Uí Briun, whereas Brian. Wait, what? Monosyllabic, Brian. I guess it kind of just all flow Brian. Like, yeah, you don't really have a Brian. Brian. Yeah, I guess it is monosyllabic in a way. Brian is monosyllabic and has a different genitive, and hence Brian's descendants were the Ui Brian. And the name Briun is said to have been declining in popularity by the 10th century, and it is possible that nothing more significant. English syllables make no sense to me. Brian, it seems like 2 syllables. I'm confused by this as well. I don't know if maybe this is something that I'm not... Because unless it's like they're talking Bran? Is that how it's meant to be pronounced? Because we definitely would say Brian. Ron? Maybe something like that. That's weird. Because we definitely say Brian Boru. Brian. Strange. Yeah, it might be I feel so sleepy already, or more like Brian. I'd say it how you're saying it. Brian. Yeah, it's probably that. Brian. Like, there's such a small difference between Brian and Brian. But you're right, it probably is meant to be Brian. Brian Boru. Yeah, Brian Boru. That's what it is. I'd imagine so. The reading has made me feel relaxed. I'm glad to hear that, Casey. It doesn't sound like a word name anymore. That's called what's it called again? Semantic something. Let me look it up. Semantic. No. Word for when a word loses its meaning. Semantic satiation. It has a name. It is Brian, Brain, Ron. Has a name. Semantic satiation. It's the term for when... It often happens to me when I'm looking at a word a lot or when I'm typing a word a lot. It just starts to not even become a word. It just loses any on all meaning. And it takes like a couple of seconds for it to regain it. But yeah, semantic satiation is the term. Very neat. Where were we? I'm going to spell it for a bit and every option seems wrong. But the name Brion seems to have been declining in popularity by the 10th century, and it's possible that nothing more significant than fashion caused its displacement by the name Brian, and that O'Brien's renown simply hastened the displacement of one by the other thereafter. Indeed, by the 12th century, copyists would regularly replace Brion with Brian when transcribing manuscripts. There is one outside possibility that should, however, be mentioned. At the time when Brian was born, as we have seen, sometime between 927 and 941, the only place in which the name Brian is found is not Ireland, but rather Brittany. Also, incidentally, the occasional occurrence of the name in later medieval England derives not from O'Brien, or from Ireland, but from landed connections between England and Brittany, arising from the Norman conquest in 1066. The reign of Brian's father, Kenneatig, in 934 to 51, closely overlaps that of Alan II, Duke of Brittany. And both men spent their lives at war with Vikings, and sometimes the very same Vikings. Indeed, following the death of Alan's grandfather, Alan I, in 907, the Vikings had overrun Brittany, and young Alan sought refuge in exile in England at the courts of Edward the Elder and his son Aethelstan, where he seems to have remained until he invaded Brittany with the English king's aid in 936 and expelled the Vikings. While Alan was in exile in 913, a Viking fleet from Brittany led by the Jarls Hraldr and Other appeared in the Bristol Channel and raided around the Welsh coast, but its further advance was repulsed by the men of Hereford and Gloucester, at which point part of the fleet, led by Jarl Other, made for Ireland and established a Viking base at Waterford. This man is one of the arch-villains of the Coga, which famously says of him, as we have seen above, that, quote, the Earl, Oter came with 100 ships to Waterford, and the east of Munster was plundered by him, and the south, and he put all under tribute and service to the foreigners, and he levied his royal rent upon them. The whole of Munster became filled with immense floods and countless sea vomitings of ships and boats and fleets, so that there was not a harbour nor a landing port, nor a dune, nor a fortress, nor a fastness in all Munster without fleets of Danes and pirates. However, the Coga says that there was, quote, one gracious, noble, high-born, beautiful sept in Ireland, who never submitted to tyranny or oppression or unwanted injury for any other people of the world. These were, of course, Dalcaish under the sons of Kinneatig mac Lorchan, Matgamon and Brian, who now set about freeing the Irish from the oppression. The fact that the name Brian occurs regularly among the families of the Breton nobility. The fact that the name Brian occurs. I'm trying to focus on Brian. Regularly occurs among the families of the Breton nobility in this age, but is hitherto unknown in Ireland, suggests the possibility, but no more than that a political alliance against a common Viking enemy, or even a trading relationship between the two regions, led to the adoption of this Breton name by Kinneatig for one of the youngest of his many sons. I guess it's the same with art when you stare at an image or you're drawing for too long and it doesn't look right anymore. I sometimes get that when looking at art, yeah. Or looking at like a character's face. I feel like I might throw up on you, Casey. Be careful. Make sure you go to the bathroom if you feel like that. And drink water. Brian's early years. Brian appears for the first time in contemporary records in the year 977. The four masters adding, after their record of the event, Brian Colga, Blian Vian Desh Antalanchen, Brian. Wait. Desh Antalanchen. Brian was 50 years of age at that time. As we've seen, there's a strong chance that he was in fact only 36, but still this is quite late in life for such a famous person to have to wait before being noticed. The reason, of course, is that the annals confine their interest overwhelmingly to the affairs of kings and high-ranking clerics, and it is decidedly unusual for royal kinsmen to get a mention apart from their obits. Brian was one of at least 13 children, none of whom is mentioned in the annals other than to have their death recorded, apart from his brother Marchon, who is a senior churchman, crops up once or twice, and the other two brothers who preceded Brian in the kingship, Lochna and Macgamon, and even Lochna goes entirely unnoticed until his untimely death. It is no surprise, therefore, that contemporary writers are silent about Brian. It does not mean that he was a non-entity until he reached middle age, merely that it was not the job of annalists to write about the son of a king or the brother of a king that would have taken from the aura of the member of the family who held the kingship. And for this reason it is quite likely that had Matgamon not been murdered, we would know nothing whatsoever of Brian until the time came to record an epigrammatic obit, if anyone bothered. But that does not mean that later writers, naturally aware of the strange twist of fate that meant that Brian managed a highly unusual feat of becoming the third son of his father to succeed, did not revisit the earlier part of his life and write him into the story. The author of the Coga Gaela Regaliv, for example, lived at a time when everyone knew it was Brian, rather than any of his siblings who had gone on to do great things. Indeed, he probably wrote at the behest of one of Brian's heirs, and therefore it was necessary to give him a leading role even before his succession. Thus, having begun his story with a litany of atrocities committed by the Vikings against the Irish, the writer turns to the subject of the one Irish dynasty who can defend the people, Dalcaish, at a time when we know it was ruled by Brian's brother Matgamon, but this is not quite how the writer sees it. Quote, there were then governing and ruling this sept 2 stout, able, valiant pillars, 2 fierce, lacerating, magnificent heroes, 2 gates of battle, 2 poles of combat, 2 spreading trees of shelter, 2 spears of victory and readiness, of hospitality and munificence, of heart and strength, of friendship and liveliness, the most eminent of the west of Europe, Matgamon and Brian. The two sons of Kennetig, son of Lorcan, son of Lochna, son of Cork, son of Anlone, son of Matgamon, son of Teirdelbach, son of Cottle, son of Ide, son of Conal, son of Eachwood Baldurg, son of Carthan Finn, son of Blot, son of Cass, son of Conal Ecluith, son of Lugan Men, son of Ongus Tirok, son of Fair Corb, son of Mug Corb, son of Cormac Cass, son of Ailiel Olam, son of Mug Nuadat, who divided Ireland with Con Cairtatuk. And a partridge in his pear tree. Very well played, Legend. Okay, that really made me giggle. I was getting all EVV. I was not prepared for that. Oh, that was good. The long genealogy is to show the blue blood flowing in the veins of Matgamon and Brian. But to all intents and purposes, theirs is a joint rule, or so the author of the Koga would have us believe. Or so the Germans would have us believe. Is that a heckin' snail in the back? Ah, there's actually 4 of them. There's 4 snails carry you. All kind of in like a 4 in a row line, actually, now that I look at it. Yeah, there's 4. Look at the rock, then look at the bark of the tree, then look at the lower branches, then look at the middle branches. To briefly explain, you may notice that they all have halos, and one even has wings. One day they camouflage. They do camouflage well. One day I was walking home from a place, and I was walking. There was a driveway, and I was walking to the side, and it was nighttime. As I'm walking, not really looking at the ground, just walking, I feel a crunch under my foot, and I go, oh no, and I hate it because snails are so cool. They're just little guys. And I go, oh no, and I take a step forward to look down, and I feel another crunch under my foot. And then I go, what the fuck? And I take a step to the side. Like, I kind of continue forward, but I take a step to the side, and I turn my body. And the second step, I step backwards, and I feel a third crunch under my foot. And then I take like 2 or 3 quick steps back, and I'm staring at this trail, this snail trail of destruction that I have left littered on the ground. And my heart has sunk at this stage. I'm actually going like, no, what the fuck? I'm so mad at myself. I'm so angry. And I'm so sad because they're just little snail guys. And I'm like silently grieving. I've murdered like a little family of snails. And after like a minute or two, you murderer, I didn't mean to. After like a minute or two, I kind of collect myself and I go, okay, let's get going. And I take a step back to turn. And I feel another crunch under my foot. After that, I feel like I may have blacked out for a little bit. I think I just I was mad. I was going mad. I felt like 4 snails died in the space of about 3 minutes. Not even. I got a quad kill. Probably not enough to get like the announcer to say quad kill, but definitely enough to say a triple kill. Hello, Billy. Welcome in. Thighs. And then he goes sleep. I see you have a Haru emote. No doubt you saw the new Haru. The fair-skinned Haru. No longer white-skinned, but fair-skinned Haru. I hope you enjoyed. Very, very pretty heckhound, no doubt. Very cute heckhound. But thank you for joining, Billy. I hope you have a good sleep, Billy. Let me see if we can finish off this little section, and then I think I'll finish up. Oh, okay, yeah. There's only a little bit left here. The The long genealogy is to show the blue blood flowing in the veins of Matgamon and Brian. But to all intents and purposes, theirs is a joint rule, or so the author of the Koga would have us believe. Seeing the, quote, bondage and oppression and misrule that was inflicted on Munster and on the men of Ireland in general, unquote, jointly Matgamon and Brian chose not to submit to it, and so brought their people and their chattels westward over the Shannons over the Shannon into County Clare, and dispersed themselves among the forests and woods of the people living there. From this base, the Koga tells us, Matgamon and Brian waged a kind of guerrilla war of resistance, plundering and killing the Vikings, neither side offering or receiving quarter. We're very good at guerrilla warfare, it seems. And when eventually both sides had tired of conflict and a truce was signed between them, it was the initiative of Matgamon, now styled King of Dalkesh, not so his brother. But as regards Brian MacCaneatig, he was not willing to make peace with the foreigners. Because however small the injury he might be able to do the foreigners, he preferred it to peace, and though all others were silent, he would not be. Brian, however, after that, and with him the young champions of the Dalkesh, went back again into the forests and woods and wastes of Tuath Mumu, North Munster. He began then immediately to plunder and kill and retaliate on the foreigners. When he did not inflict evil on the foreigners in the daytime, he was sure to do it the next night. When he did not do it in the night, he was sure to do it the following day. You had a similar thing when I tried boiling broccoli for the first time. Those boys there, little caterpillars on the broccoli. Oh no, Carria! That's so sad. Oh, the caterpillars! You boiled them! Oh. That's so fucking sad, man. 3 tiny caterpillars. Oh, well, at least they were warm. Well, hopefully it was quick. They were so pale after being boiled. Okay, now that's making me laugh, because now I'm picturing you holding the 3 of them and like, you're looking at it and like, so pale. Oh, it's so sad though. I'm sorry you had to go through that. So you feel a little bit about me and the snails. The Koga therefore paints Matgamon as something as an appeaser, a dove to Brian's hawk, camping out in makeshift huts in the woods and deserted places and caves of Dalkesh. Or Kesh. Brian and his men wasted the land from Loch Derg to the east of the River Fergus in the west, and from the Slieve Aughty Mountains on the Galway-Clare border to Tratreg, the area around Bunratty. Then the foreigners of all Tuath Mumu built a dunclad, a kind of earthen ditch around Tratreg, proposing to turn it into a fortress, Dun Aurus, and to conquer all Tuath Mumu and Ua Conol Gabra, a branch of the Ua Figenti in West County Limerick. But Brian killed them in their 2s and in their 3s and in their 5s and in their scores and in their hundreds, and fought numerous conflicts with them, suffering hardship and harm and bad food and bad bedding in cooking huts in deserted places, and on hard, bumpy, wet roots of the soil of his native land, with the foreigners killing his people, his retainers, and his foster brothers, until, it says, the historians recorded that he had but 15 followers remaining. The Koga then has it that Matgamon, hearing of his brother's plight and dreading that he would die at the hands of the Viking, sent messengers to him and arranged to meet. And when they did, Brian reproached Matgamon for conceding a truce to the foreigners while they occupied his rightful inheritance, the patrimony of his father and his grandfather, saying that the latter, Lorcan, son of Lochna, would never have made such a peace, just as Lochna, so the author says, displaying a very poor sense of chronology, had never submitted to the Unail king of Mael Shocknail I, who died in 862, or to any of the other five provinces of Ireland. Or to any of the 5 provinces of Ireland. What's worse is it wasn't just a family. There was a tiny roach in there too. I killed their dog. You killed the dog. No, that's fucked up. You're still listening? Thank you, Casey. Warm and had food. The fact the book is talking about death and so are we. So true. Maccamon's defense was that he did not possess the power to resist the foreigners, especially because of the number of their warriors with their breastplates and swords and other arms, and did not want to lead the Dalcash to their deaths, as Brian had. But Brian won the argument with a stirring riposte. Brian said that he, Matgamon, was wrong to say that, because it was hereditary for him to die, and hereditary for all the Dalcash, for their fathers and grandfathers had died, and death is certain to come upon themselves, but it was not natural or hereditary for them to submit to insult or contempt, because their father or their grandfathers did not submit to it from anyone on earth. He said also that it was no honour to their courage to abandon, without battle or conflicts, to grey foreigners and black mighty heathens, the Galib, Glasa, Augusta, Gentib, Gorma, Gosmara, the inheritance which their father and grandfathers had defended in battles and conflicts against the very nobles of the Irish. And so when Matgamon put the matter to a gathering of the men of Dalcash, they were unanimous in declaring for war against the foreigners. It was this war that won Matgamon the kingship of Munster from his Onocht opponents. And yet the Coga, in noting that the Onocht and their allies were marching to oppose Matgamon, nevertheless has it that quote, this news reached Brian and Matgamon and the nobles of Dalcash when they were at Cashel of the Kings, as if Brian rather than Matgamon were in charge, although when they assembled all the Dalcash before them, it was Matgamon who asks what they wish him to do, perhaps because he is the king taking counsel, but with more than a suggestion that he is back to his old vacillating ways. The outcome of their deliberations was the march to Solod that led to Matgamon's famous victory over the Vikings in 967 and his storming of Limerick the following morning. But the Coga has Matgamon after the battle asking Brian for an account of it, as if the latter led Dalcash on the day while Matgamon remained aloof from the proceedings. It is only after the overthrow of Limerick that Matgamon comes into his own in the Coga, but his moment as a son is brief before his assassination in 967, which thus thrusts Brian back into the limelight. And I think there we might end it, because it's getting kind of late and I need to be up quite early tomorrow. Next we'll be talking about Brian's wives and children, which no doubt he had many. I actually have an image from the next page, and he has at least 4. Yeah. It's almost midnight. It is. I will be getting a good sleep, though. I'm a bug lover, and I have a bug hyperfixation. I was devastated when I did that to the caterpillars. I did, in fact, just stand there holding them for ages. Your friend was on call with me, teaching me how. How bowling things worked. Oh, you enjoyed that reading? Thank you, Case. Boiling. I was like, why were they talking about bowling? I hate my autocorrect. Carrie, I completely understand. I fight with autocorrect all the time. Probably because like I type too quickly and I misspell, and then it just makes things up about what I want to say. It's out to get me too. But thank you guys so much for joining me for the reading. I think I will raid out to someone. Now, who that someone is, I'm not entirely sure. I will attempt to keep it to someone who is doing ASMR. If you misspell things, it just changes words. It doesn't like you. Oh no. I will try to raid into someone who is also doing ASMR to kind of keep the feel. Who just followed? Hello, Convoy VT. Welcome in. It's nice to meet you. I assume by the VT at the end of your name that you may be very well a VTuber too. So is that the book about IRL people then? It is, Carria, actually. This is a book about Brian Boru. In the Battle of Clontarf, Brian Boru is an Irish High King in the, would that be 10th and 11th century. As the back of the book states, the most famous Irish person before the modern era, whose death at the Battle of Clontarf in 1014 is one of the few events in the whole of Ireland's medieval history to retain a place in the popular imagination. Hello, Convoy, and hello, Phoenix. It's nice to meet you. Love your model and theme. Thank you. Very kind of you. Hi, Phoenix. It's nice to see you. I heard him say your name, and it brought you out of your lurk. You been lurking. I was about to say that you missed the stream, but I hope you've been enjoying the little bit of reading, perhaps. Convoy here. I feel like I may have. Okay, I'm gonna follow you because if Phoenix likes you, then you're probably a neat person. I'll have to try and catch you someday. Hang on, I'm just checking some stuff. Very comfy while you fish. Ooh, I hope you've been having a nice fishing time. When is next Brian Boru reading? As I said before, I kind of decide what to stream on the day. And by on the day, what I mean is probably about 10 minutes before I stream, I kind of look around and I go, do I want to read? Do I want to do ASMR? Do I want to play Morrowind? Or whatever else I'm doing, and that's usually how that works. I'm not a man who makes schedules. Maybe someday I should try. No. Yeah, that's not Convoy. He hiding. That's Convey. Conveys to you that he's not Convoy. Giggling, blushing, kicking your feet right now. I understand. Phoenix does that to people. Hope you're doing well, though. I am. My voice is getting a little bit tired because although it's not too bad as it usually is, focused reading and like reading aloud is more strenuous on the voice at times, I find. Hello, the Divis. Welcome in. It's nice to see you. How you doing? Convoy from the compliment. That's a great emote. But yeah, you have to kind of. This is me for real. I do find reading is more. You're tired, so I'm here to relax before bed. Divis, I'm so sorry. I'm like just ending stream. I like the snail in the back as well as you as the loaf. Thank you. That's Brewer. And those are the 4 snails that I once accidentally killed in rapid succession on a sad night. You may notice they all have little rings, little halos above their heads. I had to tell this story once already today. I didn't even see the ones on the tree. Oh yes, there's one on the rock, one on the on the bark, one on the lower branch, and one on the middle branch. The story of them is horrific. Fine, I'll tell it. Divis, you get to relax. You get the story of my massacre of the snail family. But yeah, but it was nighttime. I was heading home. I was walking out of an area, and I was walking like out of a driveway, and there was a car, so I was off to the side, kind of where the grass and concrete meets. I was walking along it, and as I'm walking, I feel a crunch beneath my feet. And I'm like, oh no, because I like snails. They're just cute little guys. They're just, oh my, hello, Pon. Hello, okay, wait. Hello, Pon. Hello, Sochi. How you guys doing? No, this is like, this is bad timing because I'm like going to tell a story that I'm going to raid out. Okay, thank you for the raid. It's very kind of you. I hope you guys are doing well. Not the 6. I got hit with the 6-7 raid, guys. I got hit with the 6-7. Hello, Orlando Timothy. Elongen the stream. It's actually okay because it's only midnight. It's only just gone midnight. But let me very quickly shout. Wait, how do I spell shout again? No, it's not shout. It's shout. It's not TH. Shout out at Pon. There we go. Hello, Mad Overlord. Welcome in as well. How you guys doing? Pon, I hope you had a lovely stream. I'm sure all of your viewers are very sleepy and very relaxed right now. I always appreciate you raiding me. I actually was looking for a raid target like 5 minutes before, and I was going to raid you because I was like, it's my time, it's my chance. I never get to raid Pon Pon, and then no, Sochi, I can't. Sochi, I have to go to bed. I'm telling a story, and then I have to go to bed because I have to be up in 7 hours. No, I can't do a karaoke. I'll refund you. I'll refund you your points. I promise. Don't cat blink at me. No, don't. Push-ups. Okay, do you want to turn them into push-ups then? I can do the push-ups, Sochi. I'll do the push-ups, and then I'm sorry guys. I know I'm usually doing normal ASMR, and we were literally doing like a nice calm reading beforehand. A nice calm reading that would have been very ASMR like, but now I'm chatting because it's the end of stream. Okay, Sochi, I'll do push-ups instead for those 1,000 points. Chat's fast again, that it is. Okay, let me do the push-ups. You guys get counting ASMR. You get breathy counting ASMR, I suppose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. There you go. You get your 30 push-ups. So, thank you again, Pon Pon, for the raid. Very kind of you. I'm now going to finish my story. Oh god, I'm sorry if that was loud. I'm sorry. I was putting the microphone back in. Hey, congrats, Sochi. You get a breathy retelling of my snail murders. Good, Ruadh. Thank you, Sochi. But yeah, I walked out and I felt a crunch under my boot. Well, not boot, my shoe. And I knew it was a snail, and I felt so sad because it was a little snail guy. And they're just little guys. They're cute. So I take like a step to turn to look at the snail, and I feel another crunch under my boot. I'm like, no, not two. This is the worst. So at this stage, I'm starting to walk backwards, and I'm looking at the already destruction below me, and I feel a third crunch. At this stage, I take 2 quick steps back, and I stop, and I'm just looking down, and I'm like, no, this is the worst. I feel so bad, and I need a minute to compose myself, because I'm just I've just committed a massacre among the snails. So after I compose myself, I sigh. God damn it, Sochi, you got me breathing really heavily. I sigh. I turn to walk away, and the first step I take away from the crime scene, I feel a 4th crunch under my step. And I just kind of stop. I step off the snail. I just kind of stop, and I'm kind of just freaked out at this stage. I'm freaking out. I feel like I go into a bit of a fugue state. I kind of black out. And all I remember is getting home and just a feeling of emptiness and sadness inside of me. But the slaughter of those little snails. But now that the little snails on stream are explained, the little guys up there, and here, and here, and here, are explained, I do need to raid out. So I do apologize, Pon Pon. Thank you again for the raid, but I was ending myself. So we're gonna find someone good to raid into, someone doing some ASMR. I'm sure there's some nice people. I bet you watch where you step now after that. I do. I do. I never want to do that again. Oh, you know who's doing it. Wait, hang on, let me check something. Oh, you know who's doing ASMR? Shu Sakurai is doing ASMR. I've never listened to him do ASMR. I'm so used to Jay, but... Oh, he has a nice whisper. He has a very nice soft whisper. I'll always be looking at the path when I walk to look out for snails or other bugs. Don't want to step up on a bee. I remember one time I was swinging a stick around and I just clocked a bee mid-flight. No, it was a wasp. I didn't feel too bad because it was a wasp. Anyway, we're going to raid into Shu Sakurai. He's a... yes, it's a he. When you see him and hear him, I will confirm it is a he. Very sweet alien boy. You guys will... Did the we come after you? No, he got his ass knocked out. Or at least badly hurt. He was on the floor. But he's doing some very nice whispers and has a very pretty model, so I think you guys will enjoy it. He looks like he is currently bunny alien boy, is what I would describe it as. And he has some heart eyes, so I'm sure some of you will enjoy that. But what I'm going to quickly do is raid and sub-raid. I don't have a raid message, but we'll just do... You guys can just do that. If you're... I really want to change that symbol. I really got to change the Rua raid from the fucking Twitch symbol. That's terrible. I every time I see it, every time I go to raid out and I see it, it fills me with disgust and hatred. And maybe it fills some of you with that as well, so I'm going to send you off to a sweet alien boy to rid you of those feelings. Lots of bug murder talk this stream. And that was just the first stream you've joined, Carria. Welcome in. Anyway, Grev me, Lamahogod, and Songafall. Bye.